The story of Esther. For such a time as this long ago in the Persian Empire, King Xerxes, also called Ahasuerus, ruled over many lands. One day, after Queen Vashti refused to obey his command to appear before him and his nobles, the king decided she would no longer be queen. A search was made throughout the empire for a new queen. Among those chosen was a young Jewish woman named Esther, who was being raised by her cousin Mordecai after her parents had died. Esther was very beautiful, but she was also wise and kind. Mordecai told her not to reveal that she was Jewish, and she obeyed. When she was brought before the king, he was so pleased with her that he crowned her as queen. Not long after, Mordecai discovered a plot to kill the king. He reported it through Esther, and the king's life was saved. This was written down in the royal records. Meanwhile, a powerful man named Haman rose to high authority in the kingdom. The king ordered everyone to bow down to Haman, but Mordecai refused because he would only bow to God. This angered Haman greatly. Learning that Mordecai was a Jew, Haman decided not only to punish him but to destroy all the Jews in the empire. Haman convinced King Xerxes to issue a decree that on a certain day, all Jews in the land should be killed. The king agreed, not realizing Esther herself was Jewish. When Mordecai learned of this, he put on sackcloth and ashes, mourning bitterly. He sent word to Esther, urging her to go to the king and plead for her people. But Esther was afraid. Anyone who approached the king without being summoned could be put to death unless the king extended his golden scepter. Mordecai reminded her, "Do not think you will escape because you are in the palace. Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" Esther asked Mordecai and all the Jews to fast and pray for 3 days. She said, "I will go to the king even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish." On the 3rd day, Esther went to the king. He welcomed her and extended the golden scepter. She invited the king and Haman to a banquet. At the banquet, she invited them again to a second banquet the next day. That night, the king could not sleep. He asked for the royal records to be read to him, and there he discovered that Mordecai had saved his life years earlier. Realizing Mordecai had never been rewarded, the king asked Haman what should be done for someone the king wanted to honor. Haman, thinking the king meant him, suggested a lavish parade with royal robes and the king's horse. To Haman's shock, the king ordered him to honor Mordecai in this way. At the second banquet, Esther revealed to the king that she was Jewish and that Haman's plot was to destroy her and her people. The king, furious, ordered Haman to be executed on the very gallows he had built for Mordecai. Afterward, the king gave Mordecai a high position. Esther pleaded for her people, and though the original decree could not be undone, the king allowed the Jews to defend themselves. On the appointed day, the Jews triumphed over their enemies. To celebrate this great deliverance, the Feast of Purim was established, which Jews still celebrate today. Esther's story is one of courage, faith, and God's providence, showing how one brave woman's obedience saved her entire people.